What if the secret to a more profitable, more sustainable cattle industry wasn't some newfangled technology, but actually a return to a more natural way of farming? Today, we're going to dig into a revolution that's really shaking up the world of red meat, and a very special breed of cattle that is right at the heart of it all.
And trust me, they don't throw that word revolution around for nothing. It's a pretty powerful statement from auctioneer Johan van der Nest, and it just perfectly captures the buzz from a recent gathering of industry experts who are, well, ready to challenge everything we thought we knew about beef production.
At the very core of this revolution is a simple but honestly a really powerful idea. We've got to bridge this growing gap between what looks impressive in a fancy show ring and what actually makes money in the real world. And this right here is the heart of the problem, as expert P.J. Bowdler points out. See, for decades, the industry has been chasing this show cattle ideal. These huge animals bred for their looks. But on a commercial farm where you've got bills to pay, the things that truly matter are efficiency and profitability. This revolution is all about slamming that gap shut.
Okay, so if the old way of doing things is broken, what's the new playbook for success? Let's dive into the new rules of profit, because this is where the revolution really gets going.
The first rule, and this is a total game changer from U.S. cattle breeder Kit Pharo, is to forget about the individual animal. The new way to measure success is profit per hectare. So you stop asking, how big is my prize bull, and you start asking, how many total kilograms of beef can my land sustainably produce? It's a complete shift in the business model. And that leads us right into rule number 2. Cow efficiency. Now, this isn't about size, it's all about productivity. And why is that? Well, a smaller, more efficient cow needs less feed just to maintain herself. That means you can have more cows on the same amount of land, raising more calves, and at the end of the day, making more profit per hectare. The ideal cow is one that thrives on what nature provides and raises a healthy calf every single year like clockwork. This quote really highlights the danger of that old way of thinking. As P.J. Bowdler explains, chasing the extremes, the biggest bull, the heaviest calf, it's a risky and frankly expensive game. The businesses that actually last for generations are built on balance and consistency, not on winning a few shiny awards. Okay, so to get that kind of efficiency, there's a really key genetic trait we need to talk about. It's called easy fleshing. And nope, this has nothing to do with getting an animal fat. It's an innate, inherited ability to stay in good shape on nothing but natural pasture. Here's the bottom line. Easy fleshing animals are basically nature's perfect converters of grass into beef. And as Bowdler warns, if you're constantly propping up your cattle with expensive extra feed, you're not just throwing money away, you're actually masking their true genetics. You can't tell which animals are naturally fertile and which ones aren't.
So with all these new rules swirling around, you've got to be wondering, right? Is there actually a breed of cattle that already embodies this entire philosophy? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. And it's time to meet the Boran.
For over 1,000 years, the Boran has been shaped not by the whims of some judge in a show ring, but by the harsh realities of the African environment. This is a breed sculpted by nature itself. It's a living testament to survival of the fittest. Just think about what these traits mean in the real world. Natural, hardiness, and disease resistance, that means lower vet bills. Thriving in tough conditions, that means you're not spending a fortune on extra feed. This isn't about looking good, it's about survival and efficiency, and it's all hardwired right into the Boran's DNA. So let's put it to the test. How does the Boran really measure up against these new rules of profitability we've been talking about from Pharo and Bowdler? This is where it gets really fascinating, where ancient genetics and modern philosophy just click. All right, let's start with Kit Pharo's fundamental rule. Shift your focus away from the individual animal and onto the overall productivity of your land. And here's the proof in the pudding. According to Boran breeder Johan Erasmus, this is exactly where the breed excels. Because it's so efficient, the Boran delivers more kilograms of beef per hectare than any other breed. That's a perfect, real-world example of Pharo's philosophy in action. Next up, that second principle, which really builds on the first, the idea that a smaller, more efficient cow is actually a much better investment than a massive, high-maintenance one. And what do you know? The Boran is a perfect fit. Breeders like Johan Erasmus are deliberately aiming for this moderate frame of around 400 to 450 kilograms. Why? Because they know that's the sweet spot. That's the most efficient size for maximizing their output per hectare. And that brings us to our final principle.
Getting back to the basics and selecting for natural, functional traits, especially when it comes to the females in your herd. Erasmus focuses on selecting his cows for their femininity. He believes that these natural visual cues, that a cow just looks right, are a super strong indicator of her fertility and her ability to consistently pump out healthy calves year after year. So when you put it all together, it becomes crystal clear that this isn't just about picking one or two good traits. It's about a complete, balanced system where every single piece works together in harmony. This quote from P.J. Bowdler just nails it. A successful farm has to keep three things in balance: the veld, which is the natural grassland, the environment itself, the cattle, and, of course, the bank manager. You got to keep the finances healthy.
And that's really the big takeaway here. The Boran breed is living proof that it's actually possible to keep all three of those things happy at the same time. By working with nature instead of against it, you can have a farm that's both sustainable and profitable. They don't have to be enemies.
And so we're left with this final challenge from Kit Pharo. This whole revolution isn't just about cattle, is it? It's really a call to action for all of us. It's about questioning the way things have always been done, embracing change, and asking ourselves, what is the difference that our own industries need to not just survive, but to truly thrive?